Hello, welcome everyone. Thanks for being with us today. Yay, we're here, Freddie. I'm so happy to have you with us. We have our OG on the screen today, Freddie. And I, Freddie was with us when we started Toki TV, and kind of he's the one that said Toki TV actually when we were talking, and it stuck. And so that has been the name of our gathering each and every week for many years now, Howard? Two,
Oh,
three?
I don't know, 30, 40, I can't recall. At least 3 plus 2 or 3.
Something like that. So I think in 3 years. I think 3 years. But so yeah, so Freddie, we're really happy to have you with us. We're going to briefly go around and say hi to everyone, but I'm going to encourage everyone on the screen and who's watching on the screen, hit the share button on your social media. You guys are going to want to hear from Elizabeth today. We're always talking about what can we do, what can we do, and everything is a legal battle. And we have some expertise here today, so get your questions ready on what we're doing to just protect Mother Earth. So let's check in. Deb Cruz, how are you today?
Oh, yeah.
And there you have it, folks.
Yeah. I had to hanging in there with all of the chaos that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for
Good
being
to
with
see Freddie and Allie, though. Hey, guys.
us. Very excited. Brandy, how are you today in California?
Doing good. Doing good. It's the Festival of the Whales down in Dana Point. Today's the last day. So after the show today, I'm going to go down there. There's a lot of stuff going on. So it's really cool. It's an annual event they do down here. But I'm glad to be here and I'm excited. Very excited today.
Thanks for being with us each week. I really appreciate you being here. Christina, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
You're frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you were frozen.
You're freezing.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you though. You might be frozen, but your voice isn't.
Oh, that's weird. I'm not frozen for me. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to see Freddie and see what Ellie is all about. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Freddie, how the heck are you, man?
Siam Nischalicha, if I sound a little raspy in my voice, and you know me, that it takes a lot to bring this Indian down, but I traveled at 8 a.m. yesterday morning to the Spokane Arena, got there to watch the Nibe Lady Red Devils take first place, and then I led the crowd to the boys championship. I think our crowd, man, that's what it's about, is being not just a part of the crowd, but some people have to be the conductors and holding the sticks and telling you louder. And it was absolutely 100% worth the day. I got home last night at 1, which was 2, and then I woke up and came to join each and every one of you. Good to be with you. Siam Nischalicha, Sulcata. Good to be with you, Annette. And thank you. I just want to do a shout out to the Lummi Blackhawks for their championship game by 3.
That's awesome.
So thank you.
That's awesome. It's so good to have you here. We'll hear more from you and what you've been up to too. It might just puts a smile on my face and in my heart every time I see you. So and hear your voice, even if it's raspy. I like it. Howard, how are you today? What's going on where you are besides the wind?
Well, it's been blowing snot here for about 2 days, but lightening up a little bit now, and it's probably going to rain in a few minutes. But it's great to see Ellie and Freddie here, good old friends. Very good to see you, and everybody else. And I should introduce, both of them, because I've known them both about 10 years now, since Totem went to Miami, and since Damn Sense started about 10 years ago. I know Nellie and worked with her with Jim Waddell and on the Snake River Dams and on the Elwha forests, because there's a lot to say about that, and that's what I want to hear about. So Really good to see you, and welcome to our midst. And you're like old guard anyway, Freddie. You've been here before. I don't want you to overuse your voice, but I sure like hearing from you. So anything you want to say, I want to hear.
Yes, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Howie.
Yeah. So, Ellie, please take the floor and tell us what you've been doing and all about those big trees.
Well, thank you so much, Howie, and really appreciate joining you all on this show and all the tremendous work that you all do. So, yeah, my name is Elizabeth Dunne. I sometimes go by Ellie. I am the Director of Legal Advocacy at the Earth Law Center, and I founded the Cascadia Bioregion program there. I'm an attorney, a movement lawyer, and I've been working on a variety of causes, some of which Howie referenced with a variety of nonprofits, and closely with the late Jim Waddell on breaching the Snake River dams, which really threads into the theme of interconnectivity that we have in all the work we do. So I started working, I live in Port Angeles, Washington, on Lower Elwha Clallam territory. Very near in the Elwha watershed. And the work that we've been doing in the Elwha really started almost 2 years ago now, when we found out that the state of Washington, the Department of Natural Resources, at that time headed by Commissioner Hillary Franz, was about to log a really critical section of forest very near Little River, one of the main tributaries of the Elwha River. And that is what catalyzed the community to look at what was going on, to realize that we've actually been experiencing this extractive logging, this exploitation of nature in the Elwha watershed for not just many decades, but really since the founding of this country and the suppression of indigenous peoples and the colonial paradigms and frameworks came to sit on top of land that was previously stored in a way that recognized a relationship with the natural world. And Freddie, of course, can speak better to that than I can. But what got me into the work that I do now, which is really centered on recognizing the rights of nature, our responsibilities to nature, and how we reestablish our relationship with nature for those that have lost it, to reawaken that sense of responsibility that we have to the natural world. So that's kind of the bigger movement that this is nested within, recognizing that the Elwha watershed, not only is it known worldwide, or at least known within certain circles worldwide, as a symbol of hope with the removal of the dams that came down, but realizing that there is still so much work we need to do to recognize what it really means to steward a place that gives us so much. What are we giving back? So that's really how I got into the work to protect these forests in the Elwha watershed. These forests are structurally complex, biodiverse forest, these temperate rainforests. It's pouring rain right now here. We're so lucky to be blessed with all this water coming from the sky, right? And these are some of the last remaining temperate rainforests in Washington state that play a critical role, not just in Washington state, but globally. Temperate rainforests play a critical role in regulating the climate and preserving biodiversity. So our work has been around stopping the logging of these last remaining forests, and then looking at different logging practices. But our immediate need has been to stop this logging. So that's actually part of how I connected. Well, I was already connected with Howie, but how we got together to really think about the interconnectivity of the watershed and the relationship between the health of the Elwha River and the salmon and the southern resident orcas. Having known that, of course, the Center for Whale Research stewards Big Balcom, big salmon. Wait, is it Big Salmon Ranch? What do you call this? Big Salmon Ranch? Big
Salmon
Balcom
Ranch is
Big Salmon Ranch.
BBSR, yes.
Along the Elwha River. it made a lot of sense for us to team up and look at the first lawsuit we filed, challenging the very next timber sale that came up on the shopping block in the Elwha watershed. And I'm happy to report that Center for Whale Research joined the Earth Law Center as a plaintiff in that case, and I'm happy to report that we were successful with a multifaceted campaign that included a lot of just publicity, a lot of outreach, a lot of letters to the editor, a lot of events, and a lot of time going to court, and all of those things led to the cancellation of a sale called Power Plant, which continued our momentum. That stretch of forest is right along the Elwha River, and that's continued our momentum to protect the remaining legacy forests in the Elwha River that have continued under threat despite our successes. Although we do have a bit of a reprieve now with the new Public Lands Commissioner, Dave Upthegrove, who's put a pause on the logging of these older forests, taking a look at what's been going on, hopefully realizing that it's actually not legal under the law. I won't get into all the details of why that is, because there's many layers to that. But we are still fighting to cancel 2 sales that went through in the Elwha watershed of these older forests right before the new commissioner took office, and seeking cancellation of those sales and protection of the forest in the watershed. So those 2 sales, Treewell and Parched, we've filed lawsuits again, and we are again working to just raise awareness and ask that those be canceled. And the Center for Whale Research and Orca Network, I'm happy to say, joined the Earth Law Center as plaintiffs in those lawsuits. And we're just continuing to fight for these forests, as we will continue. Well, as long as any part of them is still standing, we will continue to seek for these forests. So that was kind of a lot, but I can happy to answer any questions there. I guess I also want to say I've been so happy to be working closely with Freddie since we came out with a film. I think especially since we came out with a film called Last Stand, Saving the Elwha River's Legacy Forests. Howie's also in that film. And one of the things that film did is brought us all, I think, even closer together and built that synergy between all of us. It's a short 20-minute film. I'm delighted to say it's actually won 3 Best Short Film Awards. That wasn't the original intent in creating the film, to be honest. It was being filmed during our campaign to stop this timber sale, and we were going to use it in whatever way we needed to continue to raise awareness. Fortunately, we learned as it was being filmed, just over the 4-day period we were filming, that the sale was canceled. So it has a happy ending and that point. But that brought into this place where Freddie and I are now working quite closely and working with members of the Lower Elwha Clallam tribe we've launched a petition to protect the Elwha watershed that is rooted in some of the principles I just spoke about earlier, about reciprocity and relationship, and calling for a different way in which we're stewarding the watershed. Okay, now I really will stop there. But
that's awesome, because you've done so much, Elizabeth. So I mean, you don't stop. You keep talking. On the film, specifically on the film, I think it's very cool that it's gotten the attention, because that just spreads awareness, right? And that's kind of the goal, or it is the goal. The upcoming, you guys have something coming up, and usually we do kind of announcements at the end, but I think this would be a good time just to show people, and then we can mention it at the end of the show. But you want to tell us about what you and Freddie have coming up?
Yeah, so we have 3 events coming up. Wonderful that you have right there. And I will, if Freddie's voice is filling up for it, let him speak to kind of how it was his genius to create the Indigenous Cinema Climate Showcase. I think after we actually went to a couple of film festivals and saw some of the films that that were selected to be in the showcase, and that are all really inspiring and showing our film Last Stand, as well as 5 of those other films at these 2 locations coming up around the equinox, which is March 20th at the Peninsula College, and then International Day of Forest, the 21st at Field Arts and Defense Hall. These are all in Port Angeles, Washington, but folks are welcome to come for a fun weekend of events. And then on March 22nd, the water blessing ceremony down at Hollywood Beach, starting at noon. And then at 2 p.m., there'll be 2 different hikes to go and visit the power plant forest that we were able to save and get off the chopping block, as well as another forest under the timber sale name, Doc Holiday, out in the Sadie Creek Recreation Area that is still at risk. We do have a short video I could share, figure out how to share with you about that forest too. But yeah.
That'd be
So
cool.
Freddie wants to share a little about how he came up with the showcase, or just kind of a little what we've been doing with that, if you want to.
Thank you, Elizabeth and Haishka, Annette, and all of our family with TokiTV. I don't know if you guys all know this, but yeah, like Annette mentioned, my Indian name is Salkadab. Was it was about 10 or 11 years ago when our beloved late Chief Salik told us, you guys go get our whale. You go get Lolita, Tokatai. And Uncle Doug and I, we went down, just a little history. In 2018, we named her Scally Chuktanot. And so the whole part of TokiTV was to honor our relative, Scally Chuktanot, who's from the Quahamichton people. And I just want to recognize that and, give my love and thanks to the Creator for all of us being able to come together in a good way and to see all of my good friends once again. I was born and raised here at Lummi, so I've been working as an environmentalist since I was a kid, 13 years old. And all of a sudden, just this past year, I started working with our friends at the Earth Law Center in Port Angeles, and with Elizabeth Dunne and her vast team of attorneys and PR firms that are helping us trying to do this good work to save the forest. Little history on the Elwha. We spent $370 million bringing the dams down. And this is our message. You can't spend almost $400 million taking a dam down and then start saying, well, we need to take out the forest too. And so these are real important issues. And that's how Liz and I came here, and she asked me to do this interview. And I said, okay, we brought the Eagle staff out to the protest off 101. And it just by chance, it was by the grace, the spirit of the Creator, our Creator, the universe, whomever you pray to, that brought us together to do this good work. And so the Indigenous Climate Cinema Showcase, sorry, that was a long introduction. The Indigenous Climate Cinema Showcase is a free program put together by the Earth Law Center and our friends. And what we're doing is we're just going community by community, church by church, the interfaith community. We're going to granges and community halls, and wherever they have a screen and are able to show the films to people. And we've even done an online event with the Indigenous Cinema Climate Showcase. And we have 8 films. It's about 67 minutes. And it's just a mini 1 hour showcase of films of Indigenous filmmakers and peoples in film in the Northwest, and what we're trying to do about our changing climate. I don't know if you guys, notice South Carolina and the Carolinas are already on fire, and the fires in California are burning up the cities now. So all of this is tied together with our important work that you do with TokiTV. And so our showcase, you know, we're talking with the Elwha Legacy Coalition. If you don't already or can come to the website, I believe it's elwhalegacyforest.org. And you know, that's where you could come and learn a lot about what Ellie and our relatives are doing for World Water Day celebrations. Hey, you too can have a World Water Day celebration. It's March 22nd, the spring equinox. And you could look these up. I can't remember, but these are all off the top of my head. But you know, the spring equinox is renewal and rebirth. That's on March 20th. March 21st is International Day of Forest. So go out to your forest, go out to your local parks, your national parks before they're gone, ladies and gentlemen, with the current administration and the work that's happening. And this is your time to stand up. This is your time to stand up for your park rangers, for those that are helping defend what we consider sacred. And so my ancestry and my relatives come from the Elwha Clallam people. Clallam Bay is out right by Nia Bay, and that whole territory is the Clallam people. That's how I look at it. But my relatives there in Lower Elwha, big shout out to Tanisha Francis and Linda Weekman and all of our friends that have signed on to our petition that we brought forth to save the forest. You know, I don't mean to get passionate, and if I get a little loud, I need you to hear it, because your voice is really powerful. Our voice together, it was like being at the Blackhawks game last night at championship. And you know what? There are winners and losers in this, and the only losers are the Cohomishton people, the salmon that are trying to come back into the Elwha Legacy Forest, and all those creatures and sacred. That's a sacred place, the usual and accustomed areas. And so we encourage you to do that on the International Day of Forest, March 21st. And then World Water Day, we're doing a water blessing ceremony, and we're calling the interfaith community. So it's not just, you know, Elwha and Lummi, and, you know, it's not just tribal voices. It's our voice together with our Universalist relatives. We brought Protestants and Catholics. We brought the Muslim faith and the Jewish faith. We brought all the, you know, so that's how we are doing our not to put a shout out to Earth Day coming up, but that's what we do for Earth Day. We started this last year, and it's kind of our Earth Church, where we bring everybody together. And so this important work that's coming up, you know, like I say, wherever you are, you could do your own water blessing ceremony. Right now, not to finish off, but I'm doing the Gathering of Eagles, and that's how Annette, Howie, hey, right now, the invitation, I got to let you guys know, is right now. And that's the 17th, that's May 17th, and 18th is Lopez Island. The 19th and 20th of May is San Juan Island. The 21st and 22nd is Orcas Island. And then we land back at Lummi Nation on Friday, May 23rd. And if you haven't been to the Gathering of Eagles, this is our 5th annual. And so I can't believe it, Annette, but that's how Annette and I and all of us with the Alliance of Earth, Sky, and Water Protectors have been coming together in a good way. It's all grassroots. Right now, I'm doing an art auction and dinner fundraiser starting on April 1st, and I'll go through April 9th. I'm doing 5 stops. We're doing a dinner and an art auction. So I'm seeking some art, and I'll leave my number with Annette. And you know, you can call me, but we're looking for donations. I just seen Jacob Johns, our wonderful warrior friend and survivor, in Spokane when I went to the Blackhawks championship yesterday. and it was he has some beautiful art. He's going to donate as bigger pieces, and we'll have silent auctions. And then one last quick note: the paddle to Elwha is July for us Lummi. It's July 21st and 22nd, and then we leave here at Lummi, and we'll arrive in Lower Elwha on July 31st. And if you haven't been invited to that, it's a community event. If you're from the area, it's just a great time to come out and visit our relatives, and you'll see all the canoes come in, and it's just wonderful. But again, shout out to our Elwha Legacy Forest Coalition at elwhalegacyforest.org. And Liz, did I miss anything?
No, that was very comprehensive. A lot of incredible things going on. Freddie, you do so much. And I know I was just contemplating this the other day. I mean, we all do so much, right? And I think about how we're trying to change the world. We're trying to birth into the reality, this vision we have of a very different world than we're experiencing right now. And it's going to take so many of us. Because sometimes I feel so overwhelmed. I'm doing so many different things, as Howie knows, every time we catch up, right? And I just am taking comfort in the fact that the more we grow the community of people that feel empowered to stand up for nature, to stand up for our fellow humans being exploited, the more that the more that we can feel that we have time for our own self-care, our own ability to rejuvenate and appreciate nature. So just warms my heart to know that there's so many people out there like us doing all of these incredible things. And I just want to stand up and uplift people that want to do more. As Freddie mentioned, the Elwha Legacy Forest Coalition came together. I was a co-founder of that coalition, and it came together out of awareness about the tragedy that was the timber sale, as we saw the forest being dismantled, and people stood up and said, no, not again. We're not going to stand for this. And that birthed the coalition. And we have an incredible group of folks. I wanted to point out there is a blog post. If you go to the blog tab on elwhalegacyforest.org, there's a blog post with the details about our events. There's a lot of incredible photos. You can see our coalition members there, individuals and organizations. And there's a blog post there about the events coming up. If you want any more details, the one on the left, Equinox International Day of Forest and World. You can kind of see some of the other events and things we've been doing, celebrations about some of the other forests that collectively we've been able to save, a grief ceremony, community hikes, all those types of things. And I think, this is something that people can do in their communities, wherever they are, for the places that they love, coming together with diverse skill sets to really speak for nature, which, as I said, is part of a really core part of the work that I do, is figuring out ways in which we can give nature a voice in all these different spaces. Yeah.
Well, I can see I will need to go over every word and every beautiful picture on Elwha Legacy Forest and learn everything and join everything and get right behind it and cheer for it and say thank you for it. And this seems to be the organizing organ right here. Is
Mm-hmm.
This is how easy it is.
That forest. Yeah.
It's super easy to go to the website, guys, and you click on that, sign up for the newsletter, and you see all these cool pictures. And then right here at the bottom, you just put your information in, and you definitely want to keep tabs. So thank you for sharing that. We want to make sure, like Howard said, if you're not on it, get on it today.
Yeah. And also, I think you have the the Earth Law Center page. It also has the petition on it. If folks want to look at the Earth Law Center page with the petition, we are encouraging as many folks, no matter where you are, to sign in solidarity to that petition, calling for protection of the watershed and the cancellation of these sales. That's our website there. And if you look under our work, you can find a campaign specific to the Elwha Legacy Forests, and look and read the petition there and add your name to it as well. So we can gather your signatures and take those to our lawmakers and to our commissioner, and people will know how many people care about this place for so many reasons.
And if I can add too, on Friday, on the International Day of Forests, it might not be on the schedule, and there's a reason. But if you want to come out, and I'll be out there starting on the 19th and right through the 22nd. But we're gonna hike. We're gonna hike up to where the dam came down, and it's a little hike, so you know. But that's on Friday, March 21st, and that'll be about noontime. But that again is not on the schedule. But if you want to come out, you know, there's just a little group of us. I'm not a great hiker, Howie, so if you
Not
want to
either.
but there's we'll bring some of our relatives, and they're going to share some stories about why the importance of the dam came down, and why the sacredness of the free flowing river is all a part of us, and that's all of us, all of our good work. We have to do this all together, and we may have different fights in different regions of the country. And again, I just encourage each and every one of you and friends that are watching around the world, you know, to be that voice for Mother Nature, be that voice for the river and for the salmon and for the Quahamichton, the people that live under the water, because their babies are dying. You have to say it. The kids are dying from the Quahamichton people. They're dying, you guys. And so this is when these are the prophecies. So when we come to the gathering of eagles and you hear these voices amongst the circle about what's happening to Mother Earth, we're all connected. We're all connected. And so again, thanking each and every one of you for just this moment of time to be with you. And again, love you, Annette and TokiTV. And again, it's good to see each and every one of you. Siamanis Jalacha.
Love you, Freddie. And I know some of you have heard this. I know most of you who have heard this who are on the screen. But, you know, when Freddie and Uncle Doug were coming back from Miami, they drove through Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I was following them. And they were having dinner, like lunch dinner, and at the famous Frontier restaurant here in Albuquerque. And I dropped everything. I was cooking dinner and turned the stove off and ran out. And I walked in there, and you know, you see a big giant whale totem in New Mexico. People are like, "What is going on?" And so it was a lot of attention. But I walked in there, and I didn't even have to look to see where they were sitting. Had never met Freddie in person yet. Just, you know, some messages and, you know, just in our work throughout the years. But I walked in and I immediately knew who my family was. And I sat down there and I sat at that table, and we've been, you know, sharing meals and stories and family since then. And it was a really special time. And then, yes, and it was immediate. And I was invited out there to Lummi, and I went, and the rest is kind of history, as you all know. But Freddie's been doing a lot of work and connecting and gathering lots of people. So Freddie, thank you for that connection. And, you know, it's a ripple effect, right? And so, like you said, it's all of us. And so I love you so much, Freddie. Just wanted to share that with folks who don't know how this is how I was connected with Lummi in the first place. And once that was done, I swear I walked in that restaurant and I just was drawn right to them, and been family ever since. So Toki magic, there you go. Thank you. So yes, thank you, Freddie. And it's never like, if someone wants to know, it's kind of like a Christina too, right? If there's something to do, Freddie knows, and if there's nothing to do, Freddie will create it. Never stops advocating for our orcas and our Quahamichton. So thank you very much.
Yeah. And I just want to underscore that it's been really great to connect with Freddie. We did a lot of work as a coalition Freddie was at the rally, and so was Tashina from Lower Elwha. But we really were going so full speed ahead that we hadn't, we got the timber sale canceled, the power plant timber sale canceled really before we developed a full synergy and connecting with Freddie and bringing him more into this work. And so grateful for his dedication to join us in this work, because like I just said at the beginning, there's so much work to be done. And I feel like we have this really incredible synergy around the Elwha, you know, as a representation for the world. So knowing there are so many special and sacred places around the world, and then knowing that we also have this incredible synergy of these forests and these salmon and orcas, like the forests are connected with the health of the river and the health of the salmon, and it's all interconnected. And so it breaks our hearts to see the dismantling of these forests and those that aren't lucky enough to live with them. It's hard to like really imagine what that feels like, but it's very tangible.
That's awesome. And Elizabeth, you're an attorney, and I know that that's very busy. Is this the first film? And you're a producer, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I was a creative producer on this film, and the production coordinator. So I basically rounded up everyone to join last minute, including Freddie, who just like took my phone call, and I said, could we come interview you? And he's like, absolutely. And just like last minute. And we also had Dominic De La Sala, who's a prominent scientist, and he jumped in last minute and flew to Port Angeles to get interviewed. Anyway, so I did that part, and I did some of the editing of the film. So yeah, this is my first foray into anything film related.
I just think it's awesome, and it's inspiring because we all get kind of stuck in our roles, and even as advocates, we get stuck in our advocate role, and this is kind of where we are, and this is what we do, so what we're good at. But you've been doing the legal work, and then now you like stepped outside of that to create something super powerful. And so thank you for doing that. And it's very inspiring and encouraging for others too. I think that just because you're good at this one thing doesn't mean you won't be fabulous at this other thing too. So, you know, get out there, spread yourself.
Yeah, for all of us, I think it's important to be flexible and realize that we do need to wear many hats and go where your strengths and interests and your passions lie, because everyone has something to contribute. You know, artists, poets, organizers, people that just like to do social media, create websites, hand out flyers. We have all those people who are part of our coalition, which is what makes it work so incredibly well. And I will give a shout out to the chair of the Earth Law Center, Missy, who really conceived of the idea of making a film. She's made a film before and said, well, hey, why don't we raise a little bit of funds and make a film about the story that you've been weaving in the Elwha? And I at first wasn't sure, because I thought, oh my gosh, that's another project. But then I actually have been, it's been really incredible to see how it has brought some inspiration to people. And as I mentioned, I think one of the incredible things for me is just coming closer with Freddie really through that film and at the film festival, and then from that creating the Indigenous Cinema Climate Showcase and being able to showcase other work that's occurring to restore the planet. Yeah,
that's really awesome. I'm going to put this up again, and I'm going to move you here so that you can be in the screen when everyone takes this cool little screenshot. But folks, go ahead and take your screenshot there. Let me take that banner down real quick. And there we go. Go ahead and take a screenshot so that you guys have that information. Smile, Freddie. Smile, Elizabeth. Deb Cruz. They can see. Go ahead, strike a pose. There you go. Freddie knows how to do that. Take some screenshots, guys. You want to be able to share that. We'll share that to the TokiTV page, the Toki's Legacy page. I think Howard already shared that to the Orca Network page as well, so that you guys can get out there and participate. And then check out that website that's listed there at the bottom that we showed a little while ago, elwhalegacyforest.org. Lots of actions you can take, because I think that's the thing. Like, everybody wants to know, like, what can we do? What can we do? How can we help? So those are the things. And then again, I think it was on this one. When you click on Learn More here, there's some of the campaigns, and there's something you could do right now. So you guys sign that petition. Oops, are we seeing that? Yeah, we are. Okay. Go sign the petition. Get on there. I'll take a screenshot of that to you. Go for it.
That's great.
And this is on the Earth Law Center site. So
And if I may, I do want to give a shout out to some of our other partners quickly in the work they're doing in the forest realm. The Legacy Forest Defense Coalition has filed, we have our 2 lawsuits in the OWA. They've filed 32 lawsuits against all of the timber sales that went forward right before Commissioner Updegrove took office and put the pause in place. And so they have timbers, like 32 appeals pending that would trying to save 2,300 acres. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to that organization because they all, as we're in the nonprofit world, so we're all always raising funds, but they are raising funds right now for their critical kind of large scale legal campaign. They have a GoFundMe campaign. I was trying to see how easy I could find it on there, but it's Legacy Forest Defense Coalition. Its legal fund helps save up to 2,332 acres of Washington's legacy forests. So I just wanted to give a shout out to their work too. We work closely with them, and I provide pro bono legal support and things like that to them. And then the Center for Responsible Forestry has also been doing a lot of work in partnership with us on the OWA. And they have a newsletter you can sign up for action alerts that pertain to forests, not just in the OWA, but throughout Western Washington also. So we're all really small organizations. And so which is, the beauty of just like collaborating and uplifting each other.
small organizations doing massive work. So seriously. So that's really awesome. I clicked on there. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I clicked on there from the original and it takes you right here to the petition. Go through and at the bottom, look how easy it is. This is all you have to do to sign it. So you want to go through and read it here. And then you fill in like these 6 things and that's it. And one of those is, do you want to join the coalition's email list? And of course you do. So click that. And then so you can sign on there as well. You don't even have to go to a separate page for that. So just want to share that. This is awesome. I really, really appreciate you guys coming on here. So when Howard sent that email, I was like, yes, I hope they could do it. I know it was a little bit short notice, but we wanted to make sure that we had you on before so we can share the March event with everyone. Howard?
Yes. Thank you for coming on board today. This has just been packed with information and inspiration and good words and togetherness. And I really love hearing from both of you. It's just so exciting to hear. And that inspires me to dig back in and learn more and just get right up to speed on everything that's going on in the Elwha Legacy Forest and the gathering of the eagles. I really hope I can be a part of that this year. That's just so important, especially the landing at Elwha. That's going to be a beautiful thing to see and be a part of. And I really want to join in on that. And I want to help get the word out in any way that I can. This is just so important. This is our mission grown large. This is what, we're here for the whales, for the Kotalmachan, the people who live under the water. It's so beautiful the way you say it, Freddie. And the forests are needed for them, for their babies to live, to grow up, to make more babies. We now have a ray of hope with J62, little baby about 3 months old now, and she's doing okay so far. She's a girl and she's looking real plump and looking fine, but we know about J61, born about the same time and died within a few weeks. So that's more the story, and that's malnutrition. That's not enough big fatty Chinook or other salmon. And that's, the forests build salmon. They create salmon. You've got to have that spawning habitat to have the salmon for the babies to survive. And You know, it's a circle. It's all intertwined. It's all connected, and we need to point that out and save every bit of it. So I really appreciate you guys coming on today. This has been a very exciting program. I think we need to get the word out. This is archived. It's on YouTube on the TokiTV channel, and we need to get it out far and wide. So uh, wonderful to see you guys.
Thank you so
ACM.
much. And I just see a hashtag breach the dams. Howie, yes, just what you said also,
There
you
it
know,
is.
I can't help but say breach those Snake River dams. Also, we're not giving up on that. And
No.
we're seeing executive orders popping up all over the place right now in the United States, right? And so
Oh my God.
I've worked on, you know, most of them not very good, right? But as Howie knows, I worked close with Jim Waddell, who taught us. He was with the Army Corps of Engineers for 35 years, and he taught us how the Army Corps of Engineers can breach these dams without any authorization from Congress, and they can do that today. And the executive branch, the president, can also order breaching of these dams. I wrote an entire law review article on it. I don't think anybody needs to read that now, because you can see that if you had the right things in place, the executive branch could do that. So we're not giving up hope on any of these issues that we're working on, because they're so dear to our hearts and the survival of all that we care about in the natural world. So
Yeah.
great for all you do,
Thanks,
Howie,
Tim.
and everyone. I'm just so grateful for our friendship and our collaboration. You're always an inspiration to me, with your words of wisdom and your kind way in which you lead and teach us.
And if I could add to Ellie, thank you, Ellie, and thank you, Toki TV and Howie and everybody. Before I go, I have to jump off. I'd just like to say, you know, we're more than happy to come back. You know, these are always changing. They're always updating. And, you know, as we get closer to the gathering of egos, I think it'd be great to come back on and share a little bit more with our Northwest community. You know, we bring people together from all over the world, South Africa, from Australia, our Hawaiian relatives come. Again, this is the 5th annual gathering coming up. And so, Annette, I really hope you're able to come. And Winona LaDuke is going to come back, and we'll have some great journeys. And we should have some great discussions too on this important work that we're doing to protect the earth, water, fire, and you know, our air is very important. And so love to each and every one of you, and thank you for speaking up for our relative Scally Chuck tonight, and to keep her legacy going. This is what it's about. And don't forget about the whale. Don't forget about the whale that's in San Diego. What's his name, Howie?
That's Corky. I guess you mean Corky, yeah, who belongs up
It's time to bring Corky home.
Yeah.
It's time you guys start talking about bringing Corky home. Don't just let the legacy. This is what this challenge is all about. It's what's next. And if you don't get aggressive and you don't start asking for it right now, you're not going to get it. And so I just encourage anybody that wants to help. You know, I don't ask. You have to ask me where to start. But we already have a blueprint, and we're already doing the good work right here. So Haishka, love to each and every one of you, and have a great week and continued blessings, my friends and relatives.
Love you, Freddie.
Thank you, Freddie.
I know you got to jump off, but when I end the show, I actually took a 2-minute clip of you at one of the ceremonies that we did together there at Kuchiakin. And so I'm going to end the show with that. So you'll have to come back and watch that. But it was just Freddie talking from the heart, as Freddie does, and really inspiring for the work. You guys, this is what this is about. It's continuing to do the work. Next week, we're going to have Susan Woodward from American Rivers on to give us more things that we can do and how can we help and what are they working on. And So every week, I think the week after that, I've invited Giles and Joe Gatos, and hopefully they'll be able to come on. I mean, we gotta keep it going because everyone's doing really good work. We got to keep highlighting it. Thank you for the work you do, Freddie. Thank you for the work you do, Elizabeth. And we'll keep highlighting it and giving people actions and organizations that they can support. And it's what it's about. It's about education and spreading awareness. So love to all of you. Howard, anything you want to say? Brandy, Christina, before we hop off?
I just really resonated with everything that Freddie said. It's our sacred obligation in our relationship with the world that we live in, and with not just humans' eyes. We need to start looking through everything else's eyes to see that we don't have to be human to see that perspective. And I think the more people that we share this with, and it will resonate with, and we can really just create some momentum together. So thank you so much, Freddie.
I do just want to add too, I mean, if folks want more inspiration, checking out the Earth Law Center's website is a great way to see different ways. So I was just at the Public Interest Environmental Law Conference where I spoke on a panel in Eugene, largest, oldest public interest law conference in the world. And I was inspired by the number of people that are really craving something different. And not that the current conservation laws we haven't done some good for us, but now I see them being used as an excuse to do bad, and they're being eroded. And we have an opportunity to put in place an entirely different system. I won't say new, because a lot of it is rooted in indigenous wisdom. A lot of it is rooted in our relationship with the world. But I think you'll find some inspiration in the work that we're doing, recognizing the rights of nature and similar work, and how we can put into practice this vision of a different world. So I just wanted to put that out there because I was impressed how ready people really are for this.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you, Elizabeth, so much. And Freddie, you guys, you are inspiring. I'm just chiming in what everybody else is saying, but you guys are really inspiring, and I appreciate everything you do. And it takes the village to get it done. So I'm with you. I'm with Howard. I'm going to go onto the website and just absorb it all and
both of them, 2 websites.
Get involved. The websites. Yes, absolutely. You guys you're inspiring. And also I wanted to add, if you can make it to the gathering of Eagles, I was lucky enough to go twice, and it is amazing. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's heartwarming. It's everything you want to get together with the people that are like-minded, like you. So please do if you can, because it's awesome. And I love you all. Mwah.
It's and happy Billy Frank Jr. Day.
Oh,
don't forget to look up Uncle Billy Frank on YouTube. Watch him speak. Just sit there and watch him. Go read his book. But Uncle Billy Frank, this is who my teacher was. This was my dad's best friend. And today's his birthday. And so I think when I was speaking, and when I speak, it's all Uncle Billy. It's all our elder ancestors. Remember, we all have ancestors. And no matter the tragedy that happened behind us, I always hear this from Uncle Billy. He says, we're still here. We're all survivors. And I just encourage you. I totally looked up, and it's March 9th, and I was like, wow, Uncle Billy Frank Jr., thank you. And I just can't thank you all enough for the good words and the work that you're doing, Siam Nishjalacha.
Thank you for that, Freddie. I didn't know it was Billy's birthday. That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. He is an inspiration and taught us a lot, for sure. In coming weeks, I'll be talking more about the side channel spawning habitat under the guidance of the Lower Elwha Clallam tribe to create a huge area of prime spawning habitat for those Chinook on the Elwha. It's gonna take a long time to come, but it is well underway now. and I'll have some updates in coming weeks.
Awesome. I don't want to skip over Deb Cruz. She doesn't usually want to say anything. But Deb Cruz, anything you want to say before we close?
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Ellie. Freddie disappeared. Okay. Yeah, I just keep plugging away and let us know how we can raise up your work and keep things moving. It just totally blows my mind that you go through all the trouble of removing dams and then you want to destroy the rest of the ecosystem. It's just like, isn't anybody talking to each other about this? So thank you for doing that, and keep us posted on what we can do and how we can do it.
Awesome. Thanks, Deb Cruz. And for those who have not heard Freddie speak, I'm going to go ahead and end with just a short clip. Again, we were at ceremony at the water's edge, and just speaks from the heart. But I love you all, and we'll see you next week with Susan Woodward on From American Rivers. Again, thank you, Elizabeth, and you're welcome anytime. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
So, a long story short, the little boy, he wanted to go live with the Cohomicton people, the people that live under the water. They live under those waves. They're our relatives. They're not blackfish. It's not a bedtime story. They're not killer whales. They're not orcas. They're the Cohomicton. They are the people that live under the water. Those are your relatives. These are the words that the chief shared with me, and I have to share them with you, just so you understand a little better why we've done this work. Why it's not just one man, one woman, one group. It's all of us bringing her home. And I don't know too many signs when I see them, but it doesn't take, anyone without faith. And I just want to reiterate what I shared with Siamawet and Sidki Kadam and over this journey, that in his last days, the chief said to me, and I don't share this very much, never shared it publicly, but he laid his head down and he just hugged me, and then he looked up at me and he said,